Alright, so low-ish tier game in Arctic region, top tier. Alright, so playing a non-turreted tank destroyer, especially at low tiers, it's a little bit sketchy. A lot of it depends on how your team disperses. Ideally, they push hard this way, and then what you can do is just set up over here. Ultimately, you're going to want to set up over here someplace. I know a lot of people like to go here, but over here, you really don't get that good of shots. You only get shots at stuff that's like pretty stupid. And for a lot of that, you can shoot from over here as well already, so... And it looks like you're sending some tanks out here, which is potentially good, because what you want to do is you want to prevent them from getting up underneath here. So the problem with where you're at right now is that you'll really only have shots if they push through here, through this area right here. But you can still be shot from a lot of things. Like you can get hit by artillery from here pretty easily, for example. And so it's one of those situations where, you know, we've talked about it before. And then see how they're starting to push up underneath here? This is the worst thing that can happen to your team over here, because all of these guys will be able to start getting picked off because this guy's going to have better position. So what they need to do is just actually counter push him if they can. Oh, or he can just drive up into them and they can shoot him in the face. That works too. And so, like, the way that you should measure your initial positions is that you should look at the time, all right? We look at the time. It's been about 2 minutes, and you've had 0 things to shoot at. 0. So mentally, you should tick off in your mind that this might not be a good early game position, right? I might be wrong, right? So in the next game, maybe you go here and you do get to see a bunch of guys, but try to be honest with yourself. If you keep going here and you never get any shots, it's not a good opening position. So, I mean, you're a top tier tank. It's, you know, 2 minutes plus into the game. And aside from the fact that you're semi-stuck, you really haven't had any impact on this game. Okay, so they're already pushing it. They already have position over here. They're already pushing up over here. The best thing for you to do is actually go back over here, kill these guys first. Because pushing, it's difficult to flank in a non-turreted tank. So like you could push up through right here, but it becomes really difficult to because it's really easy for you to get flanked on the side. It also looks like they don't really have great position against you guys on the base, but like once this PZ4 goes down, they're going to be able to just roll in.
It's a trap!
Nice shot. Shoot a little bit more to your right. Yeah. Okay. Got hit by a small caliber HE shell, which suggests it's maybe like the T-82 or something down there. And so it's difficult to push these guys where you're at because it's actually really easy to get shot in the rear if there's anybody down there. But you don't have a whole lot of choice. You're slowly going to bleed in the base. I don't know if you know. You just keep an eye on what your PZ4 is doing. And at this point, you want to keep pushing forward because it's really easy for you to get shot in the rear. This is something that your team should have done a long time ago. That PZ-34, the Hetzer, and the Churchill that are just cowering back there. And then it's going to be really difficult for you to push this. Their team is being passive, so there's no reason for you to press this.
It's a trap!
That was a nice shot. Also a nice shot. If he's gonna let you sit there and shoot him, this still isn't that great of a trade for you, but better than nothing. So your PZ4 is still alive, but he's not gonna be alive for much longer. He needs more fire support back there. You might as well push this guy. And then just pull back. Pull back! And then go and help your PZ4 Hydro, who's like been desperately hoping that he gets any support over there. See how these guys move forward now? That's pretty much the worst possible time to move forward. There's no reason to move forward. Oh, your PZ4 Hydra went down. So that PZ4 Hydra lived for 6 minutes, and see how they're just rolling into your base now? Now you're kind of pumped, because now the position that you could have taken to get shots on those guys is no longer available. You're not going to be able to front this KV-1, but it looks like he's going to push around here. So yeah, now you're going to the right position. And then now you can just be patient, because they might get on the cap, but you need to find out. Your SU5 is driving down here for some reason. Not entirely sure why. So one of the things that you can do is you can move to spot, because right now you have your artillery spotting for you, which is not really what you want. So this guy is the only guy over there. You could actually just drive all the way around behind him if you wanted. There's still plenty of time. I wouldn't worry too much about the cap. See how your artillery is moving in though? That's really not what you wanted to do. Oh my god, drive in a straight line. So this is another situation where you can set up a 1-2s, but it may or may not happen. And then you'll be on one side and he'll be on the other. Lol, he got the reset. So if your SU5 is out of ammo, what he should do is he should be spotting for this guy. This guy shouldn't have to spot to try to get his own shots. The KV-1 is pushing your guy. It's going to take 2 shots for you to kill the KV-1. Oh, okay, not anymore. He's driving towards the cap. Just wait. Just aim. Just aim and wait.
It's a trap!
That works. And then get RD safe. Tuck in right here. Alright, and then now you gotta kill the tier 3s. This is gonna be tough because you should oh, you already did load HE. Good. Because you can't
It's a trap!
reliably. I guess maybe you can reliably pen even with HE. The other guy was on top of the hill. You want to go underneath over here? Yeah, good job. No, take the low road so that he can't see you. Oh, okay. Well, now you get to go back. It's dealer's choice as to which way you want to go. You can go that way, you can go that way.
It's a trap!
So it's the Artie, and he's not facing the right way. So, oh, maybe he is facing the right way. Oh my god. If he fires at you, it takes him a while to reload. Just go ahead and aim all the way in. Alright, now all you gotta do is find this last guy. So what you want to, again, it's a similar situation. You want to try to spot him coming in if you can. You don't want to have to cross long plains. This is the exact same thing that we talk about a lot. If you're you want to catch him in a situation where he's in the open. You don't want him to catch. Oh, the game was over. I wasn't even watching the time. Well, it's unfortunate, but you weren't going to have a chance to win that no matter what you did. But you did spend a little bit too much time over in that D7 position, which didn't really get you any shots. And then you probably could have saved those guys in your base if you had gone back earlier. But I don't know. You might have then lost the Northwest at that point. So that's difficult to say. But I think it's usually best to err on the side of defending the base, especially when you see that they're coming in slowly. Like that PZ4 lived for a very long time when he really shouldn't have. He just needed more fire support, and those guys could have died. You could have gotten those guys down over there. Alrighty. So you did 1774 damage, but a lot of that was like mid to late game though, which is fine. It's still needed, but if you could have shot those guys on that south, that would have been fantastic. That might have changed the whole complexion of the game. Although, I mean, you were relatively efficient for the shots that you had. You bounced a lot on the KV-1, but that's gonna happen given the angle and the distance that he was at. Anyhow, nice try. GG. Well, the problem with low caliber HE is that low caliber HE sometimes won't do damage even through tracks. Depends on the tier. At tier 5, it against the tanks that you're shooting at, you can get away with that. But it's not like a tier 10 HE. It's significantly different. And I don't know if you guys have ever tried it, but like tier 10 HE doesn't always go through everything. Like if you hit upper glacius of a JPE 100 with your HE from your object 140 or whatever, a lot of times though it will just do 0 damage. So alright, now we're on to E75 on Windstorm. And remember, a lot of time, all you need to do to reset is to break a track. So if you've got regular AP shell loaded, just shoot the track. If you've got health and you've got distance, all you need to do is literally touch their tank and it resets the cap. You don't I mean, if you want to ram them, you can, but I'm just saying you don't really have to do that. Yeah, I'll call for the replays when I usually just get a bunch and then I put them in a queue and I just go through them one by one. Alright, so Windstorm, another game with a lot of tank destroyers. These tank destroyer games tend to be kind of campy, so what I always find to be best when there's a lot of tank destroyers is to take some, yeah, this works for actually most situations, but take some middle area and try to sniff out where they're at and then just sort of probe for weaknesses and then just relocate to wherever that weakness is. Particularly like in a top tier E75, right? They've got a tier 7 artillery. It's not really that huge. I would go somewhere in this middle area here, anywhere from like this E5 square all the way down to, you know, maybe this G6 area, and try to see if you can figure out where they're at. You know, be reasonably safe with your positioning though. And then once you kind of figure out where their forward guys are, some of these tank destroyers are going to camp, right? So they take themselves out of the game. And so if you're going to play this south, so one of the things that I don't like about going to a fringe in a slow tank is that if you're going to play this south, you have to be aggressive down here, because if they push up here and you're just sitting down here being reactive, then you're not going to be able to recover from that. Like if your team loses hard on this side, especially given the tanks that you have down here. Right, you've got the Conway and the Type 59. You've got these guys doing nothing back here. Like basically your tank destroyers are doing exactly what I said, which is basically camp. And then so this problem right now is that you've basically sacked the north. So again, you're all the way on the south. If they push through hard over here, there's nothing that you can do about it. And so you have two choices. You can go back, or you can be more exploratory over here. You can be more aggressive with your positioning over here. Find out what's here. And if they don't have much here, crush it, right? And then you've basically turned the tables on them. Because you don't know what their dispersion is like at this point, right? They might just have this IS-6 down here, and every single one of their other tanks might be up there. So you need to get some intel. And then don't go around here with your drive wheel. So if you're going to be patient, right? And you've been really patient with your positioning. Go ahead and do the reverse side scrape. There you go. Lol. He's shooting HE. So they're vulnerable to this push through this side. You've got a bunch of tanks over here. Those tanks probably aren't going to push. You're going to need to go through here and probably push that Ferdinand. We don't know what they have over here, but at this point, if they've got guys on the north, you're kind of screwed. Because, like, see where they're, okay, now you can't really push. Especially if that guy's gonna shoot ACR. And then you want to angle out a little bit. And then you can reverse side scrape just right here. Just go right there. Because right there, you'll get much better angles on shooting that AT-15. Who's doing a horrible job of penning you anyways. I think he's just shooting you, like, straight into the upper glaciers. Oh, that one went low. And again, so the way you're backing up is not really ideal, because you're basically closing down your own angle to shoot him. Like, see how you don't really have a shot? It's one of those things where if you just went right there, which was much closer to you, by the way, you had to back up all the way over there, you could have had better shots on him and basically closed down his angle. They've got a lot of tanks on the north. You got to push across this bridge. And this is going to hurt because they got a T-30 back there. They got a lot of tanks back there. But you're not going to have time to go and save the north. You just don't have a fast enough tank. You've got a crap ton of tanks down here, right? They just need somebody to be brave for them. And so see how you're going to the exact same firing solution as them? There's nothing stopping you from going to this other side and probing from that other side. You know where these tanks are.
It's a trap!
And you gotta stop going around with your drive wheel like that. If you're gonna go into a bunch of tanks, yeah, do exactly this. The T-30 is not looking at you. You can shoot the T-30. Wait, wait, wait. Ah! Oh my god, I can't believe I shot it. All you had to do was wait. Like, just wait. Just wait. That guy will move forward. There you go. Oh, aim a little bit higher. So they're crushing your other side. So this is a time limited option. You need to kill these 3 tanks and then turn around and go back. And you need to do it soon. Ideally without driving into the river. So you need to get closer. Because right now you're like totally compromising your angle. Like if that T-30 shot you, he would have penned. Just push these guys. You need to not... There's no more dilly-dallying. You're bleeding back there because these guys are shooting them. These guys are both going to struggle to pen you even if you go around lower glaciers first. This is a bad shot. Bad shot. Just turn around and just drive in there and shoot them. They're two tier 8 premium tanks. Just go in there and shoot them. Bully. Be a bully. Oh, you bully that guy. Take your time. Make the shot count. Very good. Let's go in here and bully this guy. Just shoot him in the... Does that work? And then ignore the bulldog, because if the bulldog runs, you're not going to catch him. Just turn around and go back to base. You need to go back. You don't want to be chasing after a tank that's much faster than you. Just like, even if that guy was just like the medium tank, that's not the trade that you're looking for. Like, even now, he can just run, and there's nothing that you can do about it. In the meantime, you're going to be bleeding in your base. Just push that guy. And then, so here's where you need to understand where the arty angle is. Like, he's in a vulnerable position right there until he backs up all the way over there. But if he backs up all the way over there, he can't spot you.
It's a trap!
You gave him your drive wheel, so he just shot you right through the drive wheel. And yes, now you're kind of pumped because you've got no choice. He's gonna appear on your... Oh, never mind. I thought this was a different part of the terrain of the map.
It's a trap!
Oh my god, take your time! Come on, Artie, hit that KV-5. Yeah, unfortunately you just need to drive towards the KV-5. I mean, there's nothing... Well, especially when you know he's reloading, just go for the KV-5, man. Oh, they did get a reset. Okay, now you can be a little bit more patient. Now you need to get Artie safe. Too many tanks. Yeah, I really felt like you... Again, this was the sort of thing where if you find yourself sitting on one side doing nothing and hoping you don't lose the other side, that's usually a losing formula, and that usually means that you needed to be more aggressive earlier. Even if you didn't know what was there, right? But you needed to find out. You needed to take some risk to go out there and look and be proactive, right? And you eventually went out and you figured out that there was a Ferdinand there and there was an AT-15 or whatever it was. Right, and you were eventually able to whittle them down, but you needed to do that earlier. And then I really felt like it took you way too long to kill those guys. You could have killed them a lot faster, the T-30 IS-6 Super Pershing, and that would have allowed you to get back a lot faster, perhaps before that Super Pershing got into position there. But it's one of those things where, especially when you look at the way that your team dispersed, you know that you're probably going to lose this north if they send anything, there of significance. So you want to, especially since you had the Conway down here, the Type 59. Let's see, what else did you have? You had, I think it was the ISU was coming down here as well. You had a number of tanks head down into that area. So if you've got that much firepower, you need to make use of it. And if you're the E75, you're the flagship tank for your team, you need to be the guy leading that charge. Yeah, no, ammo rack sucks. I mean, it hurts. I mean, but there's nothing that you can do about that. But I mean, even if you didn't get ammo racked, you still would have been capped out if that KV5 didn't get reset by your arty. So I look at it that way. It's, to me, it's more of a timing issue than a oh, I got ammo racked. It's unfortunate. On the plus side, you did not drive off of that little cliff and fall into the river, which is, I consider that a big win. GG though, nice try. I mean, it's difficult. Your team needed to leave your base a little bit more than they did. Alright, so we got a couple more, and we're now getting into the wins category of the night, so I'm typically going to be a little bit harsher on these because I can. So let's see, which one was this? T62A on Mountain Pass. No, I mean, I thought you played that fine. It's just, you know, when you're in the E75 and you're up against 2 tier 8 tanks like that that you know are going to struggle to pen you, you have to just bully them. Bully, 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 bully. It's really important. When you have an opportunity to bully, you do it. That's how you win local confrontations. You put somebody over a barrel and you just be like, oh, sorry. Thanks for coming out. Alright, T62A. They changed some of the bushes over here, so it's really not that good of a place to go. You can still sort of spot over there, but I don't really think that it's necessary. I actually think that the new meta should, for medium tanks anyways, should be to rush down here and secure this area. That T49 is moving forward though, so you can get shots from where you're at. And so it's one of those things where if they don't push around, nice shot. If they don't push around, oh look, did they change? They might have changed that elevation over there too. That's interesting. Like, don't trace. So they pushed a lot over here, so that's actually going to be tough for you to front. So a lot of it depends on what your team does. Their E100 took a lot of hits though, which is good. So they have a half health E100, the 4202 is full health, the RU is pretty inconsequential. He did take a shot or two.
It's a trap!
It's probably the RU that lit you. He's probably like sitting on that corner right there. And so you actually have to be careful, because sitting back where you're at right now, depending on what artillery they have, they can actually hit you.
It's a trap!
god, T-57 heavy, full YOLO. Nice shot. You have to be careful with that, because he was very obviously trying to hatch you. Almost. Position yourself a little bit more to the right, and you'll get shots when they try to poke out on him, because they know he's reloading. And so what you want to do is you want to get shots on these guys that are shooting your T-57, but you want to do it without letting their E-100 get shots on you. That WZ-120 he'll come over on the right side over there. You can also shoot under that tank if you want it. So you're doing fine on the ice road, even though they've pushed up underneath, which is good position there. Where that batch hat is good, but like these guys need to come and clear this out, because once you win this area down here where this E-100 is, WZ-120, this batch hat is boned. Like he is completely screwed if you guys win over here. So you should, like, all of these guys should just ignore this batch hat, because he's only in a bad position for all of them. You've got nobody watching this road right now, which is unfortunate, but that happens. Oh, I see. There's a little bit of hill underneath the T-57. He changed his position. You've got some heavies coming up behind you, though, but they probably lost some health because they were trying to trade with the batch hat where he was for some reason. I don't know. People do that.
It's a trap!
I don't shoot at these guys instead. I think it's much more profitable than trying to snipe at an E-100 police bar. Especially if they're going to keep peeking out there. I mean, you can drive up there, right, and be to where that type T-57 is.
It's a trap!
You can't really hang out there. Oh, 4202 shot. Good job. Oh man, that WZ-120 shell hurt. You got a guy coming on your right. Nice shot. And then, so you've got no... Well, you got the E4 sort of on that other side. Let your IS-7 lead. That's fine. And then push hard here. And then shoot the guys in the bowl, the E5. You want to get as close to this rock as possible. And then, so this is what I was saying, is that if they have people where this E5 is, where their batch hat was, see how once you control this area, he's completely screwed. And you should be shooting for damage right now. It doesn't, because he's not fast enough where he can position out. And it looks like he's got a broken turret. At this point, you do want to trade with him. You don't? So the reason why you stay close over here is one, because these guys can shoot you, but two, also artillery can shoot you really easy the more you head out this way. You'd rather just trade with an E5 in a bad position, because right now you're basically allowing that E5 to get away. Like, he's probably driving towards you guys, which is always to his benefit. Oh, they got 1390 across. So like, there's all these guys in this bowl that you could have been shooting when you're trying to, I don't know what you're trying to shoot at the FE-183. Their E5 got someplace safe and their 1390 made it across. The FE-183 is still over there. So at this point, you might as well get up behind this E5. You can drive down into the bowl because they've got no control over it. I don't think you want to drive into the front of the E5 if you can avoid it. Like, this is what I really don't like. I really don't like trying to trade in my medium against a heavy. Like, I don't, frontally, that's just, I don't think you should play that way. I don't think that the way that the tanks are designed ever has that be a benefit. Shoot the waffle if you can. Good job. That's good target selection. The 155-58 is the guy that's shooting at you. And then, so again, you can still come up behind this E5. That'll probably be a better play. Although your T95 is sort of doing it. So since your T95 hasn't really spawned anything, although I guess you could do it, and then if he counter pushes you, he'll run into the T95, so that's always a plus. The 155-58 is either on reload or he has one shell left. And then you go on the far left side over here to shoot him. Perfect. Good job. And then so my whole thing is that why didn't you just do that from the start? And then it's just a cleanup because these guys are in a pincer right now already, so they're already screwed. You could go kill artillery as well if you wanted, but I don't think that artillery plays that much of a role for where you're going over here, so you should be able to get to the backside of these guys pretty easily. No, that E4 was retarded. Come on.
It's a trap!
He had like 40 health. You would have been better support to him going the other way. Because you want to be shot, if that's the case. Like if your argument is that, hey, he could have just pushed the E4. If that's the argument, then my counter argument would be, if you pushed on his backside, and you could have gotten to him. Like, you could have killed him when he was still in the bowl. Like, I still feel that. Because he had to turn around, drive all the way back. That also allowed the 1390 to get into your base. But you could have dropped down and come back underneath that E5 before he even had a chance to push the E4. And the E4 had 40 health for a very long time.
It's a trap!
He shot. Bat chat's coming back. Yeah, prioritize the bat. This might be painful. Oh, he missed! He missed! And he's not gonna shoot. He doesn't have the gun depression to shoot you because you're in that little bowl. And then if you just drive towards that wall, you should be able to get shots in the JPE. Hopefully he hasn't turned to face you. Otherwise that might be painful. I'm guessing he's still facing their guys, or your other guys there.
It's a trap!
I don't think those guys are going to try to push around and would just kill the JP.
It's a trap!
Oh, he did! That was a 155-55, so he's reloading. I mean, you don't know, the 155-58 might be out there, but it seems unlikely, otherwise why wouldn't you have gotten shot twice? So the 155-55 is there, so that means you have probably about 15 seconds more on the reload, so you could push him. He's probably running back along this line, and then that's when you can get potentially shot by the 155-58. But you might as well push. Like, there's no reason for you not to push. See, the 155-58 is like running the other way from the other side. He's like, ah! There's a T95 crawling towards the base. This is the same T95 that like 2 minutes ago was coming through the other side.
It's a trap!
So basically you waited until that 155-55 reloaded and then pushed him. Anyway, I thought you did a good job. I thought you were appropriately patient over on this side, which is important because you don't want to overplay that. Like where that T57 went was not very good. You weren't really getting good shots, but there wasn't a whole lot you could do about it because even if you relocated, your Tier 10 heavies did a poor job. They tried to trade with that bat chat there, and that's one of the things about this map. You need to recognize that if they push up underneath you, you're screwed over here. Like, you don't want to be in this area because you'll get picked apart. But once you went over here, all of a sudden the tables are turned, right? If those heavies had come down here, you guys won. I mean, you saw how basically easy, you get easy shots on the back of those tanks. They're stuck in the middle of open field. And what do? They have to turn around and drive back across. If you keep them lit, then your artillery gets easy shots on them, etc., etc., etc. There's a lot of easy shots that can happen in that particular case. But that's why you want to win this area, and that's why I think the new meta from, well, I guess it's not really new since this was always sort of the meta from Mountain Pass on this Northwest, is to win this area. Is to win this area over here so that anybody who gets underneath you doesn't screw your team. Anyhow, these be the stats. Pretty good shot efficiency. You wasted a lot of shots on the E100s, but again, it's one of those situations where you didn't really have better shots than shooting at, you know, a moving police bar. Usually that's a sign that that it's not a very good position. But again, you didn't really have a whole lot of options there. IMO, but GG. Alright, and last one, we're gonna do yUPP's T49 game because it's on Prokhorovka and I like Prokhorovka with light tanks. We'll see how poorly he butchers it though. So this is actually a good situation. You've got two relatively competent arty. The CGC is not actually that great of an artillery for this particular map, but the 53-55 is pretty good. You can also, the CGC is good for hitting things on the 0 line, but otherwise not really. So do the typical scouting loop. You can do, I always do the five line east because I want to know what they send over here. Like, to me, that's the most important thing. They've got a pretty slow lineup. They do have people who can potentially surf, but we'll see how well that works out for them.
Time to roll out.
And then I don't like I feel like it kills speed to go over a hill and then down because then you have to climb again. And you don't gain enough speed downhill to make out. Okay, so this is what I don't like. I don't like peeking here.
It's a trap. Penetration.
Lols. And so artillery is probably moving at this point, but typically what I try to do in my artillery is get ready for an initial shot if I think that there's going to be scouting. And so, like, you would have been a pretty prime target. So you're not really sending that much to the 0 line. You do have your medium out there, which is useful. And then see how you're like scanning? Yeah, you want to aim, do that, exactly what you did right there. Lol. You want to aim to where he's going to be instead of sort of pan, like you were like slowly going. Just go and aim where he's going to be and then shoot there. I mean, otherwise you're just, especially with it's most noticeable in tanks like this and like the FE-183, tanks with really poor aim time and dispersion. It takes a really long time to aim, so you just want to pre-aim in one location and, you know, just predict where he's going to go and then aim in that direction. And then, so they lost their guy on that side. Oh look, they put another one up there. That had to hurt. Lol. That one I think actually went a little bit off right center and hit him.
It's a trap.
So they basically had two passive scouts, right? And they had two passive scouts in the same area, which is another thing that I don't like. This Bulldog is active scouting now, but he wasn't doing that before. At least not very well. And see how he's in that bowl? Yeah. He's in that bowl, derp him. Well, okay, you can aim and derp him. You can even drive into the bowl, derp him, and then leave through that side. Especially once you know, like, where that T-54 light was and where that the other Bulldog was. It's not a very good position. That's the only real position where they can potentially shoot you. That was a good shot. And then you can outspot all these guys here, so you can actually even just drive up to this bush right there and just sit there if you wanted. Because they don't have anything speed. Like, what you can do is you do a quick loop over here to see how far this E100 moved up, and if he's not up, then you can just sit, you can just camp right here. If you go to the right over here, you can use that, you can come through on that bush.
It's a trap!
Which would have potentially allowed you to aim a little bit more. The E100 is definitely on that line still.
Where'd they go?
See, like, was that really worth it for the bat chat? I don't think so. Like, diving in is usually a bad plan. Lol.
It's a trap!
And then your guys on the hill are pushing, so I would actually look that way. And basically your guys on the west are camping. Which happens a lot on this map. Like, you know that E100 backed off. You could play this middle railroad really easily. Lol, the Conqueror's in the water. And again, you can go into this bush over here and those guys won't be able to spot you. He'll come back. Okay, maybe he won't come back. Maybe he'll charge over for some reason that I don't quite understand. He's just YOLOing. He's just like, I'm gonna drive straight at him. I think that's my best possible course of action. You should actually probably just go over there and help your guy, because once that 263 goes down, you can proxy spot the E100, and or come over on that sort of K7 area and shoot through there. Like, their waffle's not going to push forward. Nobody on their west is going to push forward. Oh man, E100. Let's hope your buddy can beat a 263. Looks like he's struggling a bit. And so I would go all the way down to K7 and shoot into the back of this E100. It'll be really easy. Again, you can use that bush right there to spot if you wanted. Like, you could have spotted him from right there and not gotten lit. Which consequently, you can do the same thing right now from right there, which also protects you from getting shot from the waffle. Bushes, man. Bushes. You can shoot through this bush. Aww. If you wait like 10 seconds, that E100 will be in a position where he can't spot you if you go over. Apparently he was already in that position. You guys are pushing kind of foolishly on the other side, but such is life. Yeah, definitely go for the waffle. The 653 meter snipe with the 152 on against the waffle. Oh, it looks good.
Enemy armor is destroyed.
The kick is up. Yeah, I don't know if I would push this side. I would still try to... You could actually... I would still actually go down to that K7 area. Like, I still think you can get better shots there than from pretty much anywhere else.
It's a trap!
He's going for it. He's like, I've got 25 health. I can take this JP. I think the JPE is actually turning to shoot the 5100, which is allowing the waffle to shoot. I would shoot the waffle. Especially if he just sits there. So juicy. That looks good. Oh, did it go over?
It's a trap!
It looked like it was coming down enough, but I guess maybe it went over him. Yeah. So the E100 either backed really far off, he's down in that K7 area, or he moved up. Because those guys didn't proxy him as I guess he could be in the middle as well. So you gotta see if you can find him. And then most likely he's gonna turn, so I would still shoot the E100 just because it'll be more low. Oh, okay, now. I was gonna say, okay, now you don't need to bother, but whatevs. And then now just YOLO in and shoot things. You might as well do a 152mm derp on a full run from 400 meters to try to kill somebody. That should be the goal here. That guy's gonna die before you and they're able to aim in.
It's a trap!
Ready to fire. We've lost half of our engine power.
Oh no! The waffle! The waffle gave up just before the kill shot. He's like, eh.
Let's roll. I don't see the target.
It's a trap!
Get him! Get him! Point blank derp. Point blank derp.
Critical hit.
Oh, so sad. You might as well ram him, because why not? You won't deal any damage. Oh, he's coming after you. Lols. GG. That's how you derp snipe, I guess, or something. $10 for 17, all at like, wait, doesn't it show how much damage above or beyond 300 meters? Or maybe it doesn't show it in this construct. It would be interesting to know how much damage you got actually from range. Pretty much all of it that I can think of. Anyhow, GG, yup. GG.